Ever wanted to play as a homicidal rodent? No? Well, the ideas people over at Maximum Entertainment seem to think this was what the world needed. Presenting Squirrel with a gun. Squirrel with a Gun is the kind of totally unexpected gem that fills the void of silliest game of the year. Similar to the impact Goat Simulator had on me back in ye olde 2014. I mean, come on, a squirrel with a gun? A squirrel with a gun? Well, actually not just a gun, a whole arsenal of guns and explosives. This third-person sandbox platformer game about puzzle solving, I know, who would have guessed, involves you running, jumping, and climbing around as a squirrel would, but with an added twist. You can use the recoil of guns to reach places no squirrel has ever dared reach before. Now, I know what you're thinking here. You have so many questions, namely, what's our squirrel's motivation? Is it acorns? No, you simpleton. One day, Squeakers the squirrel, I named him Squeakers by the way, falls into a secret base after mistaking a piece of advanced tech for an oversized acorn, causing him to become target number one of the secret facility's overseers. After an altercation involving a guard, a tripping incident, and a murder, Squeakers is on the run. But before the rodent rampage can begin, you're treated to a button-pressing, jumping extravaganza that teaches you the basic movement mechanics, which are annoying initially. Momentum doesn't work how you think it will, often making you overshoot or undershoot your intended landing when jumping. It doesn't mix well with the camera either, as it has this strange input lag that causes the screen to sort of sway from side to side when turning. But I soon forgot about it the moment I took hold of my first firearm. Watching Squeakers run around holding a human-sized weapon, dodging and weaving human enemies is beyond hilarious. The guns in this game are your basic shooter bread and butter types. There's the standard pistol, Uzi, shotgun, six-shooter, grenade launcher, and of course, RPG. The pistol, for example, allows you to travel long distances horizontally, as the recoil is consistent with the more bullets you use. Figuring out which gun to use to help navigate puzzles was surprisingly fun. My favorite was the shotgun, since the recoil was almost too much to handle. Silly, but very entertaining. Speaking of puzzles, they are strange. From landing touchdowns on football fields and blowing up outhouses with grenades, to ankle-biting joggers with an RC car and navigating minefields on a suburban property, Squirrel with a Gun throws anything and everything at you. You truly have to keep your eyes peeled and keep an open mind to figure out the bizarre solutions to the even bizarrer problems. My favorite puzzle was figuring out how to get this lonely guy a cake to celebrate his birthday. I had to steal the cake and run around like Hammy from Over the Hedge. It was just very silly. Dotted around the map are flagpoles you can climb for an almost bird's eye view of where golden acorns, outfits, and extra magazines for your weapons are. It's not all platforming and cake delivery though. Combat is over the top, silly, and downright nonsensical. Want to climb up people's legs and snap their necks? Who wouldn't? Want to drop grenades into a tank and close the hatch? Sure thing. Want to have a showdown in a Western saloon? Well, you maniac, Squirrel with a Gun has that too. None of it makes sense, and it doesn't need to. Naturally, the execution system is also over the top. Wave hello before pulling the trigger on a pistol, trip a stranger over with the recoil of a shotgun, and if you don't have a weapon, simply scratch your enemies to death. My personal favorite was the grenade launcher. Not what I expected. If you want to get around the world a little quicker, there's an unlockable remote control car and boat. They can be a bit annoying to control, but rewarding since doing various tricks on them earns you more acorns. And of course, what would a squirrel game be without the ability to put them in adorable little outfits? Some outfits are purely cosmetic, while others give you a totally unfair advantage, like the bomb diffusing suit, which renders you completely immune to any explosive damage. A perfect pairing with the grenade launcher, might I add. As you progress, you unlock new zones, and along the way, you'll run into bosses like Father and Mother. These battles are proper bonkers. When you face Father, he rides around in a tank that has a weird force field thing that provides an assault to the ears every time the tank repairs itself. Let me tell you, I couldn't figure out how to defeat him for the first 15 minutes or so. So the real battle here was the one I'm having with my tinnitus. Weirdly though, it got funnier the more it played. These battles were incredibly enjoyable though, and left me wanting more boss. And less hearing loss. The character models are something to behold as well. They're that glorious low effort but perfect the way they are blend of stupid that removes all sense of morality in the journey of pure destruction. It allows you to laugh at the violence rather than, flinch in disgust. Squirrel with a gun serves up pure, unfiltered chaos in the most hilariously unexpected ways. Clunky mechanics and illogical puzzles somehow become part of the charm, and the absurdity of a heavily armored squirrel wreaking havoc is endlessly entertaining. It's chaotic, it's ridiculous, and it's everything I didn't know I needed. Play.